The journey of an English speaker is not that easy. The journey of a student who want to be fluent and confident is not that easy. There are so many steps, there are so many obstacles that we have to overcome. So today, in this video, I am going to talk about the milestone that we have to achieve to become a fluent and confident English speaker. In our life, everyone wants to be a great speaker. Everyone wants to be a confident and a fluent speaker. And how we can actually make ourselves a fearless, a super confident English speaker, that is the question. That is the question that everyone has in their mind, but nobody is there to explain that. Nobody is there to fulfill their curiosity. So that's why, as a teacher, as a communication coach and spoken English trainer, I took that responsibility. And today, I'm going to explain the journey of an English speaker. From our childhood, we all dream about one thing, that how can I be a good speaker? How can I be a kind of speaker who can speak very well, who can dominate, who can speak when we speak, other people listen. And that's why we actually try to do a lot of things. We join spoken English centers, we watch YouTube videos, we read books, and there are so many other activities we do to become a good English speaker. But today I'm about to tell you something that will change your entire thinking about learning English as a language. I'm going to tell you that how a person can be fluent, how a person can be confident, while others are struggling to express themselves. Then what is the secret of achieving fluency and confidence and becoming fearless? Being a teacher and a lifetime learner, as a student, I have been observing many things in my life. Traditionally, I haven't done my PhD in English language, but I have observed it practically. I have seen many patterns, I have seen many similarities. I have seen the weakness of the students, I have seen the problems of my students, and that's why today I came here to discuss, to reveal the truth behind a good English speaker. So there are some steps we have to go step by step. We have to understand the journey of learning English is not random. It's not like one day you just came up with an idea and you would be fluent. And the journey starts from one particular point. Do you know what is that? So take a look what I'm about to show you. The first milestone, as you can see, knowledge. What is knowledge? And why is knowledge important? How much is it important for learning English language to become confident English speaker? First of all, let me tell you, what is knowledge? And what is the first milestone that I am talking about the knowledge? Knowledge means, let's for example, you are a student and you want to learn English as a language. You want to be fluent, you want to be confident in everything. But first step you have to understand, you have to gain knowledge. Knowledge means when you get to know different meanings of different words, when you get to understand the grammar, when you get to understand how people actually speak, when you get to understand how to understand people. From your observation, from the theoretical point of view, when you gain knowledge, when you get lots of information, you come to know the meaning of different words, you come to know different meaning of different sentences in English. That is called knowledge state. Initially, when we start our journey in English learning, first of all, the first milestone that we have to achieve, it is knowledge. When we get admission, any institutes, when we go to school and we learn and read many things, we gain a lot of knowledge. From there, we come to know meaning, vocabulary, grammar, structure, a lot of things. Just it does mean that we come to know about many things. It does not make us fluent. It does not make us confident. It does not make us anything. So when a person wants to start, he can start from the milestone of knowledge, gaining as much knowledge as possible. And after that, there is a second stage that we have to overcome. The second stage we have to reach. The second milestone we have to reach, and that is ability. Ability stage. What is ability stage? Why is it important? First, let me tell you what is ability. When a person has knowledge, when a person knows the meaning of different words, when a person has vocabulary, when a person knows grammatical aspects, maybe he would be able to speak. Like a kid, he doesn't understand a lot of things, but he is able to speak in his mother tongue. So that's why when you have knowledge, that means you are able to speak in English. And in that time, it doesn't mean that you have to be fluent and you have to be confident to speak in English, but you just create your ability. Small sentences, single sentences, you just started speaking. You started talking to people. You started understanding. You started communicating with others. Simple and easy sentences you started making. You started talking about people. You started talking about a lot about your daily life. You started asking questions in English. So that is called ability stage. When a person came through knowledge stage, now he reached to ability stage. Now we can consider that person is able to speak. And I can tell you, there are so many students who has knowledge, but they do not have ability to speak. And there are also so many students who doesn't even have knowledge also. If I talk about in Bengali, that most of the Bengali medium students, they don't have basic knowledge about English language. And that's the problem. First of all, they have to acquire knowledge. They have to understand. They have to study about it. Then they would have knowledge. After that, they can reach themselves. They can actually take themselves into the ability milestone. So, for example, a person has the ability to speak in English, but that does not mean that he would be confident, he would be fluent. So, the next stage we have to achieve milestone number 3, fluency. And what is fluency and how a person can be fluent? This is the biggest question that you have to ask yourself. Why there are so many people who are way more fluent, and why there are so many, why the other people, they struggle to speak a normal sentence. They struggle to form the sentence. Why is that? So when you are able to speak, at that time, it depends on you that how much time you spend to speak or to practice or to use the language that you have been learning. Most of the time, what happens, a person gets knowledge, a person has the ability to speak, but they do not actually speak more. So when a person speaks more, when a person spends almost 1 hour every day to speak that language, actually that person gets close to fluency. When you are able to speak any language and you are trying to speak that language, at that time you are getting closer to fluency. So my advice to all of my students, this is a very good advice that I have seen while training my students, that I actually train them in knowledge stage, I train them in ability stage, but they do not speak that language. They do not use that language unless and until they are forced to use this language. So that's why most of the students, even if they are able to speak, but still they are not fluent. If you want to be fluent, you have to consistently speak this language. You have to consistently speak about something using that particular language. So that is the only secret of fluency. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need any intelligence to become fluent speaker. Rather, you need consistency. You need to practice it consistently. You need to speak it more and more and more and more. And ultimately, one day you discover, oh my God, I'm getting fluency. When I'm speaking, I'm not getting stuck. I'm not getting stopped here and there. I am almost speaking flawlessly. Without any effort, I'm able to speak. So there you can achieve fluency. So first of all, from knowledge to ability to fluency, it's a journey that you have to going through. Most of the person thinks that if I know something, if I know the vocabulary, if I know the grammar, I could be fluent. But that is not true. That is false. That is myth that you have to understand. Being a teacher, and I have been training my students for many years, I have observed that there are so many students who are way more knowledgeable, who have the ability, but still they are not fluent just because they lack practice. Okay, so remember that point. Okay, the last point, the final point or the final milestone that I'm going to talk about, you're about to see that. Confidence. Milestone number 4, confidence. This is something that we all have a burning desire to achieve. We all want to be confident speaker. And I have been asked many questions from my students. Sir, how can I be a confident speaker? How can I speak confidently? Sir, from where does confidence actually come from? Can you teach me how to be confident? So I'm about to tell you how you can be a confident speaker. Let me tell you this. Confidence comes from experience. Confidence comes from facing the problem. Confidence comes from dealing with your fear. We do not believe that if a person is fluent, he can also be confident. But no, confidence is contextual. It's relative. You would be confident in classroom, but when you go outside, you would not be confident. You would be less confident. You would be confident speaker in front of your friend, but in front of a teacher, in a presentation, you would not be confident. So first of all, you have to achieve confidence by putting yourself into a different situation. You have to put yourself on the stage. You have to go on the stage and start giving public speaking speech. You have to stand in front of the camera and start speaking about something. You have to start explaining something. You have to participate in a group discussion. You have to talk to unknown people. So when a person does that, he becomes confident. So confidence never comes from your fluency, confidence never comes from your knowledge, confidence never comes from your ability to speak. So this is the final stage that we all want to achieve. Why we do not have confidence? Because we actually resist us from participating in that kind of activity that can make us confident. We all have fear. Fear of public, fear of embarrassment, fear of judgment. And a person never can be confident if that person does not face this kind of negative things. So let me tell you once again, if you want to be confident, like us, if you want to be confident, a super confident person, then you have to understand one thing. You have to have an environment. You have to have a platform where you will be trained to become confident. For example, SM Spoken English Academy, what we do, how we make our students so much confident. We arrange different types of programs or practical activities that actually helps our students to speak confidently. We actually take them out to the road, to the outside world, and let them speak in front of the unknown people. Let them speak to the unknown people. And we give them the stage where they can perform, where they can deliver a speech that will make them confident. We actually train them to become a content creator where they have to face the camera and speak confidently and explain something confidently. When a person faces these kind of aspects of his life, no one can stop him to become confident. No one can stop him to become confident in his life. So confidence is actually one of the most vital stage, one of the most vital milestone that we have to achieve, that you have to understand. But without a proper environment, without a proper platform, confidence cannot be earned, confidence cannot be achieved. So what we are doing right here? What is our purpose of telling these kind of things? And I hope who understand English language, they are able to understand it very clearly. We, SM Spoken English Academy, has a mission. Our mission is not to make them able to speak in English. Our mission is to make them confident and unstoppable speaker. And that's why we are here. That's why we are working 24/7 to make each and every student so much confident and help them to become fearless speaker. I want to tell you just one thing. I want to conclude my presentation, my class right here by telling you there are 4 stages to become a confident and fearless English speaker. The first 3 stages are knowledge. Second stage is ability. Third stage is fluency. And the fourth stage is confidence, which is one of the most vital and most important stages. We cannot skip any one stage to reach to the final stage. So from today, you have to learn step by step. And if you do that, one day you will become a very, very confident speaker. So that's all for today's class. I will be explaining some other topic in the next class. Till then, see you, keep learning and keep growing.